a comrade from Zimbabwe, and you've just returned from a visit in Brazil. Describe that experience for us.
Well, I can say it has been the best experience of my life. We spent about 7 weeks in Brazil. Firstly, it was the training. When we go to MST, the living conditions and everything else, it's not what you are used to. But when you get into the classroom, the way you are being taught, the teachings, it was just about socialism. It really makes you see that socialism is the only way forward. And then the best part of it was after 3 weeks, we had to go to a field to really see the actual living of people. So I went to favelas. It was just beautiful. We're staying in an area where there are about 100 families. So they told us about how they invaded that land with the help of the MST. They took it was unused land, which they then occupied. After occupying that land, they went for about 10 years without electricity. Now they've been there for more than 10 years. You are talking of, I think they said 18 years. They went on for 10 years without electricity. So there I was thinking that whenever there's a power cut in Harare, we complain that we have spent the whole week without electricity. But these people, when they were talking about the time they didn't have electricity, to them it was nothing. So they managed to have electricity installed. The other beautiful thing about is how they live as a community, how they work together. They produce their food, the food which they eat organically. They work in the gardens, so they work together. And this is in contrast to Zimbabwean situation, whereby in the rural areas or in the urban areas, you've got individualized farming areas. But this is a community, don't say this is mine. And on top of that, they wake in the morning to about 12 noon, and then because the sun will be too much, then they go and do the household area, both male and female. And by that time, the kids will be at school. So, and their meals, especially the evening meals, they would eat together. When they are separating from after working in the gardens, then the other one would say, I'm going to make salad. Then the other one will say, I'm going to bring lemons to put in the salad. The other one will say, I'll bring beans. The other one will say, I'll bring rice. So initially I thought this was being done for us for the first day. But the way they were doing it really showed me that this is something which they do amongst themselves. So they bring in and eat together. It was winter, they would light up a big fire after eating and then start singing, dancing, and drinking their beer, which is cachaça, which is like a very strong whiskey, which everyone enjoys. So that kind of community really showed me that what we're learning in the school at MST about socialism, about living together, the conditions that you are in, they force you to work together. So, like right now, most of us, we might think that we'll not be able to live in that world. But if we come together and really work together, and this is something that I grew up seeing in the rural areas. Whenever I would go to the rural areas, people would bring food for us to eat. But as the economic crisis started to worsen, the droughts and those crises, one would want to reserve the food they've got. But they in MST, they don't reserve the food. Tomorrow will see for itself. What's there today, let us all share. And as a visitor, you know you're given, they give you the best meal, they kill a chicken and you enjoy. So I can say that was really a very good experience, and I hope that one day we'll live in it.
So how would you say that experience has transformed your politics as an individual, your movement in terms of the feedback that you've given them about that experience, and how you have introduced it into your own practice?
Well, firstly, living in a capitalist society, when you identify yourself as a socialist and being a female, you try to do some of these things, there's a backlash. So in order to fit in the society, you start doing so many reforms. If it's helping someone, you start not doing it because your parents are telling you not to do it. But my experience in Brazil really reinforced the idea that there is need to change the world we are living in. And taking into account that we are still in a capitalist society, I've tried to introduce some of these things at our organization. They bring and share events that we have. And also in our training, there's no need to be apologetic about socialism as the way forward. We've now embraced it in almost all our subjects to say that yes, we can do the legal reforms, but these legal reforms, the workers, they don't own the judiciary system. The Chief Justice is not put in place by the workers, but by the President. So we can, to make them see that we can still remove that legal system and replace it with a socialist society that does not need a state or a law. So it's trying to introduce those things one by one in our organization, and I think some of them we are winning because there are two of us who went and we came back with so much energy.
So moving into the space that we're in now, how did you experience this particular round of the ROPE conference? How would you say it differs from other workshops, maybe perhaps, that you have participated in?
Well, I can say it's different from the Ghanaian one that I attended. The Ghanaian one had more your grassroots people, unlike this one. And I think those are some of the things that I think the ROPE needs to consider, how to include more of your grassroots people into seeking the alternative, in building an alternative way forward.
Okay. What are you looking, what is your takeaway from this conference?
Well, I can say that the good thing about this conference is that it has also made me rethink, because with our Zimbabwean experience, the way the civic society have mushroomed these organizations that are donor funded, you tend just to dismiss any organization like that, because even most of them that would be your grassroots, like the vendors, we see them being hijacked, being manipulated by the system through donor funding. But I'm still yet to have discussions, but I get the sense of how people are building, like in Burkina Faso. I think it has been more self-sustained without getting so much of donor funding, and so determined to achieve their goal without anyone controlling them. So I think, it's that good experience, or even from Kenya, having discussions about with the woman who is doing the cooperatives, seeing also that the cooperatives can work as part of reforming the system, as part of giving an alternative to people to have something to make an income.
Any parting words that you'd like to leave our audience with?
Well, I can say we've got a world to win, and there's so much to be done. But I think now is the time to start building, to start doing that for us to enjoy, and also for the future generation. As Trotsky said, the world is beautiful, let the future generations enjoy it. Thank you.